serious. Well, I would say. The fight between Apple and the FBI over a locked iPhone heads to Capitol Hill tomorrow. Both sides scheduled to testify in this. I have a question. With the threat of nuclear terror very real, shouldn't we be prepared to sacrifice just a little privacy for increased security? Former CIA Director James Woolsey is with me now. It's the all-star day right here on Varney & Company. Britt Hume, Newt Gingrich and James Woolsey. You know, it occurs to me that the terrorists are laughing at us. They're threatening us on our own home turf, and we can't even decide whether we should get into a terrorist iPhone to get the information out of it. Where do you stand on this?
I don't think that's really the issue. The answer to the question of whether any of us would give up a bit of privacy in order to stop terrorists from getting a nuclear weapon is sure we would. There's a balance here between security and privacy, and those are both important values. But Apple has helped the FBI get into cell phones many times, dozens of times, in order to figure out something related to terrorism. That's not what's at issue here. What's at issue here is that the FBI wants Apple to design its operating system in such a way as to make it possible for the FBI to get into cell phones by itself. It doesn't want to have to go to Apple and ask. And what that creates is a situation in which the Bureau has essentially designed the operating system for modern telephones, and the ability to have privacy in your phone conversations depends on whether the Russians' intelligence is trying to get into the system, or Chinese intelligence. There are a lot of people who would love to get into your phone system.
So, thank you, James, because I've not heard it expressed that way before. And that really does turn and change the argument, doesn't it? I mean, that's the whole...
It's essentially the argument that's in Wired's article, the magazine's article of about 4 or 5 days ago. It's essentially what I just said.
Do you think, and look, supposing, and you used to run the CIA, supposing the authorities are flat out lying, sure, they can get into any iPhone they like. They're just putting up a front to say, oh, we can't do it. Is there any chance of that?
No, that's not what's happening, I don't think. They have generally gotten into a number of cell phones with the assistance of Apple, but Apple had a back door in its most recent operating system that Apple wanted to close. It didn't want to have its system out there with this back door that other people could come through. And the FBI doesn't want it to close the back door.
Right.
And that creates a situation where essentially the FBI is designing Apple's operating system and any secrecy that might manifest itself in that system. And that, I think, should give us pause.
Well, James, the way you're phrasing it, the way you're framing this argument, sounds like in this specific case, you come down on Apple's side. Am I right?
Where I am is I think the Apple folks and the Bureau ought to get together privately, not yet in any kind of big congressional hearing, and come up with a way to compromise this out and work it. This is an important issue. Both sides have some right to their position. This is not a clear yes or no question, I don't think.
Okay.
But they ought to be able to sort through this. This is a very important issue. It's a big issue, but I don't think it's a crystal clear issue on one side or the other.
James, thank you very much for clarifying this, because that is a new way of looking at it and explaining it, and I really see your point. For the first time, my eyes have been opened. Extraordinary. James Woolsey, everyone. It really is all-star day, and that's a fact. James, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Stuart. Yeah.